Good day, one and all, friends and foes. You know who you are. I'm Cal, and you're listening to Missing Links Movie Podcast, your weekly reel of the latest in film news every weekend, more or less Friday, Saturday, around there. We're going to spend a bit of time going over our top billed articles, new trailers and release dates, grab bag of fun things and what's opening in theaters this week. So whether you're a fan of The Last Samurai, The Last of the Mohicans, The Last Airbender, Last Action Hero, or The Last Unicorn, this is the podcast for you. The pod is currently on Spotify and YouTube on the channel Missing Link Movies. So without further ado, let's introduce our top billed stories this week. And at number one, with a bullet, we have The Hollywood Reporter's Katie Kilkenny reporting, strike over. Actors make a deal with studios after 118 days. After a grueling 118 days on strike, SAG-AFTRA has officially reached a tentative agreement on a new 3-year contract with studios, a move that is heralding the end of the 2023 actor strike. The SAG-AFTRA TV/Theatrical Committee approved the agreement in a unanimous vote. Wednesday, SAG-AFTRA announced. The strike will end at 12:01 a.m. Thursday, so that was yesterday. And on Friday, which is today, the deal will go to the union's national board for approval. The Performers Union announced the provisional agreement Wednesday after 2 weeks of renewed negotiations. Let's see. The union so far is providing some details of the agreement, more of which will likely emerge in the next few days. The union said the pact is valued at over $1 billion, includes pay increases higher than what other unions received this year, a streaming participation bonus, and regulations on AI. The tentative deal also includes higher caps on health and pension funds, compensation bumps for background performers, and critical contract provisions protecting diverse communities. If the deal is ratified, as we'll find out this weekend, the contract could soon go into effect, and if not, members would essentially send their labor negotiators back to the bargaining table with the AMPTP. Editorializing here, but it sounds like from what I've been seeing, the vibe is this will go through. This will get ratified and into full effect. Let's see. What else might be interesting here? Yeah, it's just kind of, the rest of the article is just kind of recapping how we got to this point with what the results of the negotiations were. So, there were some, I think overwhelmingly it's positive. It's a net positive and meets a lot of what the SAG-AFTRA union was fighting for. Not perfect, it's not everything they wanted, but it definitely is a huge boost to their industry. I think one of the probably bigger things that they had to compromise on was the streaming participation bonus. It sounds like that is not the same as streaming residuals that they would get for being compensated depending on how much a movie or show or project is streamed on streaming services. It sounds like I'm curious what the details are of this participation bonus is, but I wonder if it's a flat rate or if it's just like, as with a theatrical motion picture, if it's like it's scaled to the actor's draw to the project. I'm curious to see more details on that, and the regulations on AI. I'm curious about the details on those as well. But that I think we'll be finding out more. But like I said, I think the union is just overwhelmingly positive about the changes. So it must have been satisfactory to their satisfaction. So good for them. That's awesome. Almost right after the strike ended, things started moving. We started getting actors showing up and promoting their stuff. I believe Tom Hiddleston went on one of the late night talk shows to promote Loki. I believe Brie Larson started spreading the word about the Marvels, which is opening this weekend. Let me think. Studios started announcing release dates for movies that, were probably up in the air because of the strike. So like Venom 3, got a release date. And so Deadpool 3 and changed release dates kept in. So a lot of these big blockbusters that were hinging on stuff like this were already getting updates, and things are rolling ahead right away. So that's awesome. So good for them. Very cool. Moving on to what we usually start with, I just wanted to talk about that first, but as per the norm, we go through last weekend's box office charts. At first, we had Five Nights at Freddy's yet again with $19 million. So a pretty significant drop from its opening of $80 million. And this is its third. No, it was its second week in theaters, right? Yeah. So it dropped, but it stayed at number 1. Number 2, Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. That's been up there, since it came out. Number 3, we have Killers of the Flower Moon. At 4, we have Priscilla. 5, we have Radical, which, let's see. Yeah, which I have not heard of. Number 6, we have The Exorcist Believer. At 7, we have Paw Patrol, The Mighty Movie. 8, After Death. 9, What Happens Later. And 10, Freelance. So Radical and What Happens Later are the two that open this week. Oh, What Happens Later is the Meg Ryan rom-com. Okay, so they both opened, both failed to top the charts, but I don't believe anyone was expecting that, anticipating that, because they're both smaller studios. Radical's distributed by Pantaline Films. What Happens Later is distributed by Bleecker Street Media. So just pretty smaller, lower budget films that I don't think were ever expected to knock the socks off the charts. So, alrighty, moving right along. Our next story comes straight from a Apple TV Plus press release. Apple sets its first original Peanuts feature film, taking Snoopy and Charlie Brown on an epic adventure through the big city. Apple TV Plus, the official streaming destination for all things Peanuts, today announced a new Peanuts feature film from Wild Brain and Peanuts Worldwide, following Snoopy and Charlie Brown as they face their biggest challenge yet. Slated to begin production in 2024 from Wild Brain Studios, the new family film will see the Peanuts gang go on an epic adventure to the big city, learning the true meaning of friendship while meeting some surprising new friends along the way. The screenplay is co-written by Carrie Kirkpatrick, writer of such animated favorites as Chicken Run, Smallfoot, I don't know if that's an animated favorite, editorializing, and Over the Hedge, that is an animated favorite, also editorializing, from an original story by co-writers Craig Schultz, Brian Schultz, and Cornelius Uliano, the team that wrote the award-winning The Peanuts movie, which was a great movie, underrated, far and away Blue Sky's best movie, editorializing. The feature, back to the article, the feature will be directed by 2-time Emmy Award nominee Steve Martino from Horton Hears a Who and Ice Age Continental Drift, director of the 2015 hit The Peanuts movie, and is produced by 2-time Academy Award nominee Bonnie Arnold. How to Train Your Dragon franchise, Toy Story, Over the Hedge. So then we get some quotes from, people involved with the movie about how they're, looking forward to working on it. It's awesome that Charles Schultz's own family is working on it. I don't know if I had even realized they worked on the 2015 movie, but according to this, it says, it says they co-wrote the Peanuts movie as well. So, right. So Craig Schultz is Charles Schultz's son, and Brian Schultz is Craig's son. So we have the original creator of Peanuts, his son and grandson helping to write this movie. And it's really, I think what's really interesting about this is Blue Sky Studios is defunct. When Disney bought, they were a animation studio under 20th Century Fox. Disney bought 20th Century Fox and shuttered that studio, Blue Sky. So this is going to be produced by a completely new studio, Wild Brain. I looked into it and I couldn't, there's nothing really huge of note that Wild Brain has done. But I guess they've got potential. They've just mostly done smaller projects. No huge, nothing huge like this, like a Peanuts movie. So one of the things that I thought was really fantastic about the 2015 movie was like the animated style that the movie had. It was 3D, but in a way that really faithfully, I think, adapted the 2D look of the comics and the old cartoons. It was really impressive, and seeing some behind the scenes stuff of how like the 3D models would morph and change depending on whether the character was facing the screen or shown in profile, like their mouth would move across their face, their nose would, stuff like that was really interesting. And so with all that being done by Blue Sky, like, I'm really curious to see how Wild Brain will approach, whether they'll go for a similar style or whether they'll do something completely new or whatever. I believe, with the same director, right? Yeah. Let's see, is the director the same? Yeah. So the director's the same. Maybe he'll want to go for, a similar thing. They have one image, just some concept art, I suppose, of the movie. And it's not really clear because it's just concept art of what direction they're going to take. It does look similar to the 2015 movie, but the 2015 movie looks so similar to like the old cartoons and comics that, hard to say, but something to watch out for if you are into the Peanuts movies or franchise, whatever. Next story is another cool announcement. Comes from Deadline's Anthony D'Alessandro. Legend of Zelda live-action pick in works at Sony with Wes Ball directing, Nintendo co-financing. Sony is making sure it has its future theatrical franchises covered as the actors' strike appears to be winding down. The studio is co-financing with Nintendo a live-action feature of popular video game franchise The Legend of Zelda. The Maze Runner franchise and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes filmmaker Wes Ball is directing. Derek Connolly, Jurassic World, is penning the adaptation. He's repped by Verve. Ball is producing the movie with his producing partner Joe Hartwick Jr. So the video game, created by Japanese game designer Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka, launched in 1986. It follows the elf-like warrior Link and elegant Princess Zelda as they fight to save the magical land of Hyrule from Ganon, an evil warlord turned demon king. It's funny, this is me, but it's funny being a almost lifelong Zelda fan. The Zelda series is my personal favorite video game series. But just hearing it described in a way that I don't know, in a context of film, describing it to people who probably aren't familiar with the franchise, for some reason it's kind of weird because it's something I'm so intimately familiar with. But to, hear it described, the elf-like warrior Link and the elegant Princess Zelda, they save the magical land of Hyrule from Ganon, evil warlord turned demon king. Just kind of funny seeing a different perspective on, from an outside sort of thing. All right, the article continues. Nintendo saw huge success this spring with Illumination and Universal on the Super Mario Bros. Movie. It ranks as the second highest grossing pick of the year with $1.36 billion. More than 50% of Zelda will be funded by Nintendo, with Sony releasing theatrically worldwide. The Legend of Zelda will be produced by Shigeru Miyamoto, representative director and fellow of Nintendo, and Avi Arad, chairman of Arad Productions. A release date has not been set. A lot to unpack here, again, as a huge Zelda aficionado. First off, I'm really surprised this is live action. Nintendo struck gold with the Super Mario Bros. Movie that came out this year with Universal and Illumination. I was really hoping Illumination wouldn't be the one to be the animated studio. It's kind of a pipe dream, but I would have loved to see Cartoon Saloon, who did The Wolfwalkers, Song of the Sea, Secret of Kells, or Book of Kells. I think it's Secret of Kells. I would have loved to see them or Studio Ghibli do, or even, DreamWorks, if we're going to go with a huge studio. I would have loved for them to do an animated Zelda movie. So, and I thought that's the approach Nintendo would go with, considering how much bank the Mario movie made. But I guess they feel that a live action approach is more important or more more lucrative. Wes Ball is directing, and that is pretty cool because up to now at this point, the only things he's done of huge notoriety are the Maze Runner movies from years back. But I have a bit of a theory kind of working is, it's so early, it's impossible to tell for sure. But so with Zelda's most popular games being Breath of the Wild, which was released in 2017, that setting is very post-apocalyptic, and it takes place 100 years after a calamity has ravaged the land of Hyrule. And just, I don't know, it may be purely a coincidence, but Wes Ball's filmography so far, the biggest things have been the Maze Runner trilogy and the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which comes out next year. Both of those take place in post-apocalyptic worlds. He also directed a short film called Ruin, which you can watch on YouTube, also took place in a post-apocalyptic world. So my theory is connecting these dots with Breath of the Wild being Zelda's best-selling entry in the franchise, and Wes Ball kind of having a knack for directing post-apocalyptic movies, of which that shares a setting with Breath of the Wild. I'm imagining they're going to go with that game, that world, for the movie, but we'll have to see. I'm not too confident in the writer, because the writer, Derek Connolly, he did Jurassic World. He also did Rise of Skywalker. He did Detective Pikachu, which was all right, which was okay. But I'm really hoping he puts his puts his effort. Not to say that he didn't put it into this other stuff, but just I'm really hoping that it's got the same passion put into it as the Mario movie did, because the Mario movie also just kind of an okay movie, but the passion that was put into it did a lot of the heavy lifting with how much you could tell the animators and creatives behind the movie were into Mario so much, and so I'm hoping that gets reflected in the Zelda movie as well. But that's really exciting. I can't help but be optimistic for it, even if it is live action. Live action fantasy can still be cool. Freaking my favorite Lord of the Rings, favorite movie of all time, the Lord of the Rings fantasy movies, live action. It can be done. Can be done. I don't think animation is the only possible way to go with this. All right, and then our next story comes from Variety's Rebecca Rubin. Warner Bros. Shelves John Cena's Coyote vs. Acme movie after filming was completed. Article says another Warner Bros. Movie bites the dust. The studio no longer plans to release Coyote vs. Acme, a live-action animation hybrid starring John Cena, which completed filming in 2022. A similar situation transpired a little over a year ago as Warner Bros. Shocked the entertainment industry by shelving the $90 million budgeted DC adventure Batgirl and the kid-friendly Scoob Holiday Haunt as tax write-offs. Those films, as well as the $30 million Coyote vs. Acme, were greenlit by the former regime, led by Jason Kilar, and intended for release on HBO Max. His successor, Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav, has shifted the studio's priorities back to theatrical and felt this movie didn't fit with the new creative direction of the company. Yeah. So a quote from Warner Bros. Says, with the relaunch of Warner Bros. Pictures Animation in June, the studio has shifted its global strategy to focus on theatrical releases. With this new direction, we have made the difficult decision not to move forward with Coyote vs. Acme. We have tremendous respect for the filmmakers, I doubt that, casts and crew, and are grateful for their contributions to the film. That we will now lock away, never to be seen, so that we can save a few dollars. Oh, sorry, that last part was just me translating, here. It's it's absurd. It's absurd that, moving off the article, that studios can go this far with a movie. It's not even where a movie's in development hell, where there's a script maybe in the works, but it never quite takes off the ground. This stuff was, this movie was practically completed. I saw earlier today there is someone had, before it was taken down from Warner Bros., someone had posted like just a slideshow and reel of behind the scenes stuff of this movie. It was going to be live action with Coyote, the Looney Tunes character, being like the Who Framed Roger Rabbit situation, where he's like the animated character in this live action world. And some of the stuff they were doing, it looks like whoever posted the video was probably in props, or somewhere in the art department, because it was a lot of pictures and videos of the things that they were making to translate the slapstick nature of the Looney Tune cartoons into live action. So it was stuff like a wall with a silhouette of Coyote, as if he had flown through it at a high speed. There was walls falling over, like classic Acme bombs and rockets and stuff like that, and like it gets me because I had actually known about this movie before this news came out. Little things have been coming out over the years of like, oh, John Cena's going to be in it, Will Forte is going to be in it, it's going to be a live action CG hybrid. Like, I thought it was a really cool idea. The synopsis was that Coyote was going to be suing the Acme Corporation for all the woes and injuries he had sustained from using their products, trying to catch the Roadrunner. And John Cena plays, I guess, the antagonist of the film. He plays the CEO of Acme. It just seemed like a really fun idea. I don't think, let me back up. I was going to say there's not enough live action worlds with animated characters, but there's plenty of those, and most of the time they suck. Most of the time they're really bad. But I was confident this one was going to at least be okay. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is one of my favorite movies of all time. So that is like the standard for animated characters in live action worlds. But it's just like, man, Warner Bros., like the fact that they don't believe that it would be profitable enough to put it out is just like so sad, especially when they put out The Flash. And I know it's probably because they just put way too much money into it that they had to get back whatever they could. But like, yeesh. And this isn't even like the first. This is a pattern, they, with that Scooby-Doo movie and Batgirl, it's like these movies are completed, and it's really too bad. So it looks like they have just a tweet from someone who worked on the movie, Dave Green. So I'm trying to see who he is. Oh, is that the director? Yeah. Okay. So it looks like the director of the movie tweeted out, "For 3 years, I was lucky enough to make a movie about Wile E. Coyote, the most persistent, passionate, and resilient character of all time. I was surrounded by a brilliant team who poured their souls into this project for years. We were all determined to honor the legacies of these historic characters and actually get them right. Along the ride, we were embraced by test audiences who rewarded us with fantastic scores. I am beyond proud of the final product and beyond devastated by WB's decision. But in the spirit of Wile E. Coyote, resilience and persistence win the day." I'm hoping that resilience and persistence means that like there's enough of a movement that gets going to pressure WB to go ahead and release this. Because this is just like so sad, because like the director says, Dave Green, it is a final product. Excuse me. It was done. I mean, it was pretty much complete. Just really like annoying that WB's just able to do that, to save some money. They're able to take this monumental, any movie of, this kind of budget, any really kind of budget, to make a film is a huge effort, that's sugarcoating it. It's vastly underestimating how much it takes to make a movie. And so for all these people in the crew to put everything they've got into a movie only for it to, never see the light of day, is just like really sad. Even if it's not the best, even if it's not great, it's it's still a testament to their own passion and the intentions with which they went into it with. And so it's just like, it really kills me that that this is a thing that companies can do and not get any kind of pushback. Well, any kind of significant pushback that will actually damage their brand. So, in fact, they'll save money apparently by doing this, which, just really sucks. So, if there's any people who have access, who want to take the fall and be a modern day Robin Hood, please give us leak us the Coyote versus Acme movie. This is the social movement we need right now, is leaking movies that don't otherwise get released. So really too bad. And then finally, our last headline comes from Variety's Elise Schaefer. Elon Musk biopic in the works at A24 with Darren Aronofsky set to direct. Walter Isaacson's authorized biography of the controversial tech mogul, which was published in September, will serve as the basis for the screenplay. Isaacson's Steve Jobs book was previously adapted into the 2015 Universal film of the same name, starring Michael Fassbender as the Apple CEO. Sources tell Variety that there were heated competition to option Isaacson's book from studios and filmmakers alike, with A24 ultimately winning the bidding war. Aronofsky, who most recently directed last year's Oscar contender The Whale, starring Brendan Fraser, is known for his surreal filmmaking style, which often includes psychological elements. His past credits include Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan, and Mother. For his work on Black Swan, Aronofsky was nominated for the Best Director Oscar, while Portman ended up winning the Best Actress award. And Musk, then it talks about Musk, and we don't really need to go over that, because I think most people are pretty familiar with him. And I just thought this was really interesting with how embroiled kind of in controversy Elon Musk is, especially right now with his purchase of Twitter, turning it into X, and just like making all these changes, backpedaling on those changes, bringing the value of the company from I think the last estimates were he brought it from 44 billion to 19 billion. And just like a real, interesting to say the least, public figure. So, and to do it while he's still alive and in the public eye right now, today, is I don't know. It feels inherently like it's, man, this person is so great and has been so monumentally influential that we need to make a movie about him now, that there's a biopic already, written of him when he's still alive, he's still around, which I guess isn't the weirdest thing for a biography to be written by someone who's still alive, but it's just he's still doing things. And for A24 to want that, and for Darren Aronofsky to direct it, just really interesting. I imagine, based on his previous work, that it won't be necessarily a laudatory, is that a word? Laudatory, or something espousing the incredible work of Elon Musk and the brave campaigns he's led to transform the technology industries. Just looking at what Aronofsky has done, his usual fare, I imagine it'll be pretty somewhat depressing. Yeah, maybe psychological. We'll have to see, because it just seems like a very strange move for A24 and Darren Aronofsky. So unless we are setting different expectations for this movie than what is the result. Because, maybe the biography is not necessarily positive about Elon Musk. Well, interesting. So we'll see about that. All right, so that's a wrap on our top stories for this week's grab bag section, where I share, little something else that isn't exactly like film news, but it's fun to talk about. With this week, it is sort of news, but it's just like there's so many headlines here. It's just like not necessarily top billed stories, but it's just like all this stuff that is coming out of Netflix's Geeked Week. That is this week. So if you are, into some of the things Netflix puts out, there are a lot of rapid fire headlines that I am just gonna kind of rattle off here. And this is coming straight from Netflix's press releases. We got Arcane Season 2 coming November 2024, a fantastic animated show that I think everyone should watch. Umbrella Academy Season 4 is coming 2024. Squid Game The Challenge, which is a reality TV show with games from the Squid Game show, is also coming, and that's a choice. And talk about missing the mark or missing the point on that one, Netflix. Sweet Home, I think it's a Korean horror show, is getting Season 2 on December 1st. An anime, My Demon, is coming November 23rd. Another, animated show, Ultraman Rising, is coming in 2024. An animated show, Jurassic World Chaos Theory, also coming in 2024. A sequel to Camp Cretaceous, if you've ever heard of that. Life on Our Planet, a documentary series narrated by Morgan Freeman, has a trailer. Leo, animated movie about a lizard with Adam Sandler, coming to Netflix November 21st. Orion in the Dark, an animated movie starring Jacob Tremblay, coming in 2024. Dragon Prince Season 6 continues on Netflix in 2024. The biggest story, in my opinion, is first trailer for Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live-action adaptation of the animated series, which the release date has been revealed as February 22nd, 2024. I'm very trepidatious about it. With the last live-action adaptation we got of the show, and the fact that the original creators of the show were originally attached to the project, but left and had a few words to say that were not exactly the most positive words about their opinion on where the live action show is going. I have a lot of reservations, but the trailer visually looks pretty cool. But yeah, we'll see. I'll be there day one watching it for sure. Cause I love Avatar. So, The Last Airbender is my favorite show of all time, of any show. So, I can never have too much Avatar. We'll see how that goes. And that is everything from yesterday. And today, there's a few new things. Let's see. Three Body Problem, a mystery series based on the best-selling science fiction book trilogy, coming March 21st, 2024. The Brother Sun series starring Michelle Yeoh is coming January 4th, 2024. I'm going to have to watch the trailer for that later. Obliterated, from the creators of Cobra Kai, this wild action comedy, premieres November 20th. Leave the World Behind, an apocalyptic thriller directed by Sam Esmail, creator of Mr. Robot, coming December 8th. Code 8 Part 2, brace yourselves for the return of a cult favorite. Let's see, coming 2024. Masters of the Universe Revolution. Have to check that trailer out. Just another anime, Onmyoji, coming November 28th. Another anime, Akuma-kun, now streaming on Netflix. Oh, Katana Zero. Okay, this isn't related to a show, but there's this game, because Netflix offers mobile games, if you're not aware. And it looks like they're adding Katana Zero to their library, which is an awesome game. And Death's Door as well. Wow. A couple of great games. Those are a couple of great games. Okay, and then just Blue Eye Samurai, The Witcher, an animated film coming to Netflix in 2024. And Studio Mir is animating it. Studio Mir is awesome. Yu Yu Hakusho, based on a manga of the same name, coming December 14th. Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, an anime adaptation, coming soon to Netflix. And Blood of Zeus Season 2, coming to Netflix in 2024. So, lots of stuff there. It's like, it's Netflix is coming out with a lot of quality stuff. They come out with a lot of trash, but it's just like, it feels like they're always coming out with stuff that like is just getting rave reviews. I mean, the Castlevania series I've been meaning to watch. Blue Eye Samurai, most recently, I've heard is really good. Gosh, yeah, and now there's this Blood is, oh gosh, yeah. So a lot coming. Lots to look forward to with Netflix. With new trailers and release dates, the kind of biggest one that came out this week was Inside Out, a trailer for Inside Out 2. That was previously announced, but this is the kind of first trailer that we get. It introduces one of the new emotions that's coming, anxiety, played by Maya Hawke, who was Robin in the Stranger Things series, is currently playing Robin in that series. What's kind of disappointing is that Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling aren't coming back to voice Fear and Disgust. They're being replaced by new peeps, so that's too bad. But the teaser trailer is like, okay, cool, all right, let's see. And that is set to come out June 14th, 2024. Almost 9 years after the first film. Cool. Yeah, that was kind of the only thing there. And then finally, we have got what is coming out this weekend. At the top of the list, we have The Marvels. That is the new MCU movie with Brie Larson and Teyonah Parris, Iman Vellani, Samuel L. Jackson. If you are into that's this weekend. Manodrome, a drama thriller starring Jesse Eisenberg and Adrian Brody. Okay, I hadn't heard of that. The Holdovers, that is the one with Paul Giamatti. That technically opened last week, but I think is getting a wider release this weekend. Journey to Bethlehem. Looks like that's a Christmas movie starring Antonio Banderas. Sorry. I totally, Antonio Banderas. No. Who does he play? King Herod? What the heck? Dang, okay. Very interesting. And it's directed by, let's see, Adam Anders. This is a directorial debut, it looks like. Besides a TV movie. He doesn't have a lot of, huge... Okay, anyways, sorry. Journey to Bethlehem. It's a Wonderful Knife. That's a comedy horror Christmas movie. The Dirty South. Action crime drama, Your Lucky Day, a thriller, and A Still Small Voice, a documentary. So that's what we've got this weekend. I was going to say the Marvels will for sure be number one this weekend, and it probably will be, but not by as much as I think you would expect from an MCU movie. The previews and predictions are not looking great. It looks like it might be the lowest opening for an MCU movie. And that's including The Incredible Hulk from 2008, which I think was opened at 55 million. And it's looking like The Marvels is going to open lower than that. So, yikes. But yeah, that's releasing this weekend. That just about wraps it up for today. I appreciate you listening. And again, if you've got any friends or family that are into movie news, want to stay up to date, this podcast is the place to do it, to hear the latest. And feel free to participate on YouTube if you would feel so inclined. I recently saw A Haunting in Venice. I saw that this week. It was pretty good movie. I didn't like it as much as Murder on the Orient Express, which I thought was awesome. I haven't seen Death on the Nile, but But it was like it was pretty good and pretty creepy too. Like there's a surprising amount of like jump scares and just like unsettling aspects to it. So I didn't realize that that it would like is sort of a Halloween movie. So I would recommend if you like mystery movies. I mean that's what's great about it is like we don't get enough whodunit movies, and it's just a solid entry in that genre. But for now, we have been Missing Links Movie Podcast, and we'll now return you to your regularly scheduled life. Bye-bye.